$400 people.
You did. We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
I know it now.
Wow.
And I'll use it.
That's right. As you should. And by the way, at the Wrestling Universe, who they'll be signing at now, the prices have just gone up to $80 for autographs, just so everybody's aware.
Everybody's got a price.
WrestleMania right around the corner.
Yeah.
1 week away. Hulk Hogan, Titus O'Neil will be hosting WrestleMania. Many fans angry over the fact that Hogan is even involved in this. Not us. We're huge fans. In fact, Hall of Famer Mark Henry makes it clear that Hogan still hasn't apologized for his comments from how many years ago?
We're talking
10
almost at this point.
You guys want to weigh in on the cancel culture that's going on with this country right now?
I think it's sick. You know, it's just like, to me, it's ridiculous. It is. It's, you know, get over it. Grow up.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much from the old school of things, too, as far as, I think knowing your history can make you great. You learn from history, and history repeats itself. So the idea is not to keep the bad, but keep the good. And
coming up next, it's a UFC women's bantamweight division matchup.
Sometimes it's gotten to the point where it's just totally ridiculous. For what reason? I mean, every society in the world has had been oppressed one way or the other at some time throughout history.
Right here in Anaheim, California, Honda Center tonight, UFC history and championship history inside the UFC.
It's so crazy how the UFC has blessed this arena with so many titles like Ronda Rousey, King Brock, Kane Dos Santos, Dean Jones, Lee Stevens, Wood, Cyborg. So many championships have been defended in this arena, and so many championships have changed hands in this arena. Tonight we get to step foot in what we can call Championship City for the UFC.
Man, these kicks by her are just solid, and she is showing no signs of slowing down.
No signs of slowing down. She can throw as many kicks as her opponent will allow.
Oh, she's really using her reach advantage to great effect here tonight. Lands the punch. Oh, she landed that kick. That'll do it. Second round underway. She's been good tonight, but she missed with that. Both fighters throwing heat now. The right punch is there for her. Left hand also good.
My whole point is, how do we get someone to hold it for
Connection fire there.
Massive shot, man. How she was trying to find the next shot that'll fit the fight.
Sniffed that one out as she blocked the oh! And just like that, the fight is over. That was just a near perfect strike to end the fight. I'm not even sure what opponent saw it coming. And this is exactly the way she drew it up. She said, I need to win this fight, but I need to do it.
I've seen a lot of other people, so you're kind of riding their fear power and don't know which direction to go, or, you know, step over this bound, or you hide behind this building, or step out, you know, front and center stage. It's hard to do this day and age because everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got a cell phone, and there's no escape. So you really have to be careful what you say, where you say it, when you say it. And that's sad because, you know, life should be at some time spontaneous, and you don't get the right to be able to do that like you would have 30 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 10 years ago for that matter. You know?
Why can't people different opinions get along and discuss that opinion? I mean, it doesn't have to be an angry battle. It's like, this is what I believe in, this is what you believe in, let's discuss it like
there's
two
no
humans.
respect, you know?
That's the word.
There it is. Bingo.
Right.
Coming up next, it's a UFC women's bantamweight division
Be
matchup.
able to keep that balance too, right? It's like, you gotta be hard, right?
Well, yeah, you know, if you don't stand for something, you're boss.
Well, our stat guys are ready to score takedowns if need be. We're giving this matchup on paper. We're expecting really a glorified kickboxing match here on the mixed martial arts.
They can head to the popcorn booth right now because we don't need them. This is going to be all striking. You need that grapple button empty. Don't touch it. Cover it with a piece of tape. You don't need it. Striker versus striker both have a mentality that they just want to put damage on their opponents and they don't want to do it on the mat.
Oh, she lands the punch there. You know, it's one thing to have an edge in reach. It's another thing to take advantage. Nicely done by her. Oh, she lands a combination now. Nice volume of strikes, and it was hard to find a miss in there.
I ain't got the move.
Volume is very important, but accuracy stands out above all in that competition.
Oh, she's looking to set up that head kick. No good. She lands a punch there. We'll see if she can start to turn these singular strikes into combinations now.
She's going to have to find something to follow that big strike that she's landing over and over again.
Well, no surprise that this striker has come out aggressively to the... And just like that, the fight is over. All right, round two. Oh, did she get tagged by that combination there? And unless they're going to give her headgear between rounds, she better start raising that hook.
You got to start doing something. It's a testament to her opponent. Throwing so many strikes. She's being so accurate in everything that she's throwing.
Well, she went to the straight left, unable to connect.
Of course, I know once upon a time we used to always have solid points.
Now they're throwing both sides with conviction. A strike by her there, knocked out. Still stands.
She's still standing, but she's got to get her revive. She's got to get out to the center. She's got to find her space so that she can fade her opponent.
And just like that, the fight is over. Third round underway. Combination lands for her there. She would seem to be in the zone. Is that something you feel as a fighter?
I like that, yes. She's in the zone. Everything that she throws seems to be finding its target.
Oh, look at that combination. I got two words for you, champ. Head trauma.
Head trauma, which can be fought by head movement.
Is that a huge strike right there, DC?
Great shot landed. Now she's got to go chase her down to get another one off to finish the fight.
Just out of range with that right now. Able to check the high kick. Nice 1-2 there. And just like that, the fight is over. Well, that was just a gorgeous shot to end the fight right there. Absolutely flush on the money. And I'm not even sure her opponent saw it coming. So sometimes it's the strike you don't see coming that spells your fate.
Yeah, Randy going to do all the work.
Elevate beat tape, and another question about WrestleMania here. This one from Ryback's Only Fan. It says, who is The Undertaker going to wrestle at WrestleMania 10 and WrestleMania 16 before getting injured? WrestleMania 10 is interesting because it was such a monumental WrestleMania for the company. And it felt special. We're back where it all began, Madison Square Garden. And The Undertaker on the shelf. If he was there, able, I don't know. I think he'd been out for a while. Because it was such a monumental WrestleMania for the company. And it felt thin. WrestleMania 16 before getting injured. WrestleMania 10 is interesting.
All right, coming up next, it's a UFC Women's Bantamweight Division matchup.
We're back where it all began, Madison Square Garden. And The Undertaker on the shelf. If he was there,
Listen, John Gonzalez, motherfucker.
This is a big-time matchup. A fantastic striker and a great all-around mixed martial art. Both of these women are extremely talented. Let's see who gains the advantage.
Cuts below that left eye. Well, she's able to connect on the punch there, DC. Really making good use of her reach advantage. So both girls reacting right out the chute.
Well, again, I think that...
DC, for my money, she's really timing her shots pretty well.
For time, accuracy, and also the activity level.
And just like that, the fight's over.
Someone gets injured, something happens to make that attraction go away. My health, a lot of times, I focus on longevity. Because you
Check the high kick.
get out of your head what moves because you get hung up on trying to fix
Oh,
it.
did she get tagged by that combination there? And unless we're going to get in here between rounds, she better start raising that.
Gotta start doing something to the testament to her opponent. Throwing so many strikes, she's being so accurate
Really get
in
that
everything that she is
it's
throwing.
not easy. But when you do, and it's, you have something else that works out, you know, that you just move on.
They continue to exchange.
Don't really know. Don't remember. Because it was a situation where your plans change. Now you focus on this and you try to get involved in that, dedicate yourself to the story.
And just like that, the fight's over. Yeah, that was just a beautiful shot by her there to end the fight. I'm not sure she could have drawn it up any better than it played out here tonight. She lands the seminal blow there midway through the round. I'm not even sure her opponent saw it coming. So big knockout win for her here tonight. Check the high kick. Both fighters throwing heat now. Nice 1-2 there. She blocked the punch. Oh, you know about her kick. She's got him going tonight. Kick. That'll do it. That was a good stoppage by the referee. She was not effectively defending herself, and the opponent was doing some real damage. It became a dangerous situation. I think it's the right call by the official, and she will live to fight it.
Jim, several listeners have been sending this in all morning.
These do like 3 times in a row.
Just review the entire 22 minutes.
I know which one's go.
Hulk Hogan was on a media blitz. He did Joe Rogan's podcast, Theo Von's podcast. He's now on Muscle and Health Magazine's online platform doing an interview. What is he pushing? Apparently he's now involved with CBD or marijuana.
Hey, so we now.
He's now involved. Okay. And I'm sure he'll make a fortune. But in doing this interview, some of those classic Hulk Hogan lies have been coming out, or as he may call them, my story. I'm going to play you, I'm reading the quotes here as I'm talking to you. I'm going to play you this clip. Feel free to stop it at any time because it's filled with whoppers.
Okay.
I have not heard this yet. I'm only reading the notes, but let's go to this from Muscle and Health Magazine.
You were telling me earlier, before we started rolling, that we were so cowards to the United States.
Well, he came to
Yeah.
the wrestling albums. Long story I'll make it short. I was in Wembley Stadium. I saw a lot of Make-A-Wish kids.
Yeah.
It was me, Michael.
Wait.
Yeah.
The question is that he brought Simon Cowell to America.
He worked on his album.
All right, coming up next, it's a UFC Women's Weight Division match.
Yeah.
Was involved with the wrestling album.
Yeah, it was. See?
Not his wrestling album. You're talking
No,
about the
yeah,
one
because
he
Power
did in
know that.
1992.
There's also one before that, though.
Not it wasn't Hulk Hogan's album. It was a wrestling album that Simon Cowell did in conjunction with WWF when he was a producer.
It's a really good round one, two decorated strikers here. I would say even a world-class wrestler like yourself still enjoys a classic stand.
Oh yeah, I love this one. I love this one because both of these women know that the
Who's on the Power Drive, bro? What you talking
is
about?
to fight in the area that they are best. Both of them are fantastic strikers. One is much more powerful. One is much more quick. Let's see if he gets the job done.
The Wembley Stadium show with Bulldog and Brett was 92. Right? Was Hogan even there?
Well, she whips on the straight right hand.
That's a big fight right
Master
there.
at that time, he was not.
Shit, that was tight.
Twist on the elbow. Tries the flying knee to no avail.
What a punch. It seems like we are literally at the final match of the four-part place because this fight is about done. She has to chase the victory.
Michael Jackson was involved in the program. Maybe if they was, they mushed it up since then because it not been seen.
I remember talking about Michael Jackson. He's even cool. He was on Buster with at Disney.
Jackson with a Make-A-Wish kid, and you?
Straight right hand. But she is.
Shit.
Oh, she blocks the punch. Made another left hand there.
That was deserved to end the fight. She is such a good striker. That Japanese strike landed, and it looks like she's going to win this fight.
Well, that was just a gorgeous shot to end this fight right there. Absolutely flush on the man, and I'm not even sure her opponent saw it coming. So sometimes it's the strike you don't see coming that spells your fate, and ultimately it goes in the books as a big knockout win for her here tonight. All right, we take a look back at some of the pictures from this one, and she had it all going on tonight. Certainly the punch.
Well, let's go back to the man behind home.
My manager, Jimmy Hart, out for the South. He used to be in a band too. And he had a couple of #1 hit songs here.
He used to be in a band too, like I did. Hold on. What's a Jimmy? Jimmy Hart and the Gentrys had not only a legitimate #1 single, but a legitimate recording career for a few years, which is way past.
Coming up next, it's a UFC Women's Bantamweight Division
And now he's like, yeah, my manager Jimmy, he had a few songs too.
You ready? Because if you feel so we stayed up all night. And we wrote 12 songs for the kids' family.
Why didn't go with round one? Most people are not expecting of a wrestler's delight tonight. He's willing to strike, and that's the type of fight they're expecting.
A lot of times people put two strikers together, they end up wrestling. But these two women have told us, don't even think about calling any grappling. Tonight you watch a kickboxing match inside of the octagon, so be prepared.
For the collaboration between Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart, we're #1 on the Billboard charts within weeks.
Also good. Man, she can throw these hands seamlessly and easily connects with another series of punches.
She is one of the best boxers in the UFC, and this is the reason why.
She is such a diverse striker that is landing, and it looks like it leaves some punches. And both girls landing right out of the chute.
There's something going on. Let's go back to the action.
It's something's going on. It's like he just tosses it off casually like a yes, and then the green space alien took me around to Poughkeepsie in his alien ship for fucking dinner at the diner.
See, even like the story about the Make-A-Wish kid, if he had said me and Miss Routine were friends, then he'd be like, okay, yeah, he took a lot of bumps. Maybe he means...
Under 3 minutes.
But then he's like, me, Mr. King, Michael Jackson. Hey, let's go back to Hulkamania.
Hey!
Hogan himself.
Just missing on the uppercut there. All right, so she misses there with the strike, and at this point, what do? You getting on the fight to try to preserve some energy, or what?
Oh my God, I would hit him too.
You gotta get away, you gotta find space. Let your stamina bar rebuild itself before you explode and get into another conversation.
Can't call timeout. Can't call timeout.
And so that did really well.
Looping left hand misses the target. Oh, big head kick there. Throwing hard in the pocket.
Yes.
And just like that, the fight is over. If you're trying to send a message to the rest of this division, that is how you send it. So a good moving shot for her, but in the fight, she had this crowd behind her all night long.
So when I came back to the States, I had the crazy idea since I was wrestling, maybe we should do music here. So I grabbed Cyndi Lauper and Rick Derringer and a bunch of people, and we recut a bunch of songs. Land of a Thousand Days.
Wait a minute, hold on. Now he's going back from the album that Simon Cowell was on back to the original wrestling album, right?
That's right, he just went from
Cyndi Lauper, a.k.a. Mona Flambe, 1992 to 1985.
That's right.
And he's the one who talked Cyndi Lauper into, not because she liked Captain Lou Albano, who she watched growing up on TV and met sitting on the airplane, but Hulk Hogan, and hey, Cyndi Lauper, come on over, let's make some...
Sit down the street from him.
And Rick Derringer. He also got Rick Derringer involved.
Well, sure.
Yeah, because he made his album. He made his Hulk Real American.
Billboard too. So when I came back to the States, I had the crazy idea since I was wrestling, maybe we should do music here. So I grabbed Cyndi Lauper and Rick Derringer and a bunch of people, and we recut a bunch of songs.
You know, there's one made Real American.
And Simon came over and helped produce the wrestling album. Then he came and produced the second wrestling album, Pile Driver, and he never left. He stayed here and he became the...
That's absolutely not what happened in any way.
Besides that, doesn't he still live in England?
I mean, he may have a home in Beverly Hills or something, but he, I think, still has a residence in England. But he didn't come over here to stay after producing the Pile Driver album. He had nothing to do with that album or the one before it.
He did. He was the fucking cover, his picture covered album. His picture pornography.
album. He had nothing to do with that album or the one before it.
But is this the true definition of a sociopath that he just
And the hoochie and all that.
so matter-of-factly and casually that's completely and utterly fictitious bullshit?
Do these qualities make someone a good professional wrestler?
Well, you know, yes, but only if you, the individual involved, knows where they have departed from reality, and I'm not sure that that's obvious here that he does. Either that or he's just thinking, well, these people are complete idiots because I didn't even do research on how to lie about this well. I'm going back in time, I'm conflating incidents, he's not even doing great prep work where you would have to really do some serious digging to disprove it.
Once again, this is Muscle and Health Magazine asking about Hulk Hogan bringing Simon Cowell to America. Let's go back to this.
This monster producer and nicest guy in the world. He plays a tough guy on TV, but he's a real sweetheart.
Yeah?
In person, he's a really nice guy, so... it's amazing, because I watch him on America's Got Talent,
But it's all a pantomime.
How?
Well, he's doing the character, he's doing the...
Hulk doesn't know what pantomime means. You can't hit him with that fucking word.
The Simon Cowell up there, with stern...
I can't send him to a message.
In real life, he's a real sweetheart.
The irony, because they say wrestling's a pantomime. It's clearly not, with the number of injuries you've incurred.
Well, nobody gave me the memo that it was fake. They forgot to tell me.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can...
I didn't know.
So, Simon, are you still friends with him?
Yes.
Well, I really credits you for bringing him over here. I mean...
Well, I think he credits the whole wrestling business, really, because he came and helped produce these albums for the whole wrestling company, but we started with him over in the UK with our little stuff first. Then we brought him over for the WWE.
They're little stuff that nobody's heard ever.
What does Jimmy Hart think?
Oh, Jimmy is so nice and kind, and he just nods his head, I guess. whatever you say, poo-poo.
Well, again, there's other things here. A lot of them are related to his new CBD product and various injuries and his health. Hold on, there's one other clip here that Jay said he recommends we play. Let me go to this. Here is Hulk Hogan with Muscle and Health Magazine.
You're here at Hogan's Hangout every Monday night. Like, you haven't just developed a place and then left it in your name. You actually come here, you meet your fans, you meet your regulars, even the crazy ones. I just absolutely love that. That's so cool. And you're doing that despite all the other stuff that you're doing. What about your music? Have you got any more fans doing more music?
Right now I don't.
Fucking Mark.
Brooke still messes with music of the Nashville. And every once in a while she'll come by the house and we'll talk about music, or she'll have a chord progression or something I'll work through with her, or pick up a bass and play a bass line if she needs it, whatever. But it's nothing important anymore. It's just fun, and because my hands are getting broken.
What about Nick being DJ?
Those teeth marks.
She's touching his hand.
His teeth marks.
She's a bit over the top. Yeah, she's touching his hand, and he's, I don't even think he knows how to react to it.
Yeah, just different things. So, wrestling was different in the 70s than it is now.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
A little crazy about that.
Well, hold, listen, thank you so much for chatting to me. You're just awesome. I want to move here.
It's a nice place to live. We do a lot of partying on the beach, so you got to be ready to run with us around here.
I feel as if maybe I'm more ready to run with you than Rick for some reason.
Rick would be hard to keep up with.
Yeah, definitely. Rick and Mike are like a little bit out of my league.
Yeah.
What about Ron Howard?
Yeah, he's not in this, unfortunately, but she's talking about Ric Flair, apparently, and Mike Tyson are somehow roped into all this CBD stuff, THC stuff, too. But we're going to end it there. There's 22 minutes of Hogan talking whatever nonsense he has. There's other interviews he's done. What do you think? I mean, what do you... From hearing him...
I don't see what's wrong with it.
Make stuff up...
I don't know what he made up.
He's thought this stuff out. I think it's just coming out as he's saying it. What do you think of all this?
I think, you know, it might be, like you said, that he just, when they mention a name, he just concocts on the fly some involvement he had with them, how he was in charge of something that they played along with. That's kind of the MO. No matter who the personality is throughout history that is brought up to Hulk Hogan or the situation, somehow, at some point in his life, he was in charge of it, or the instigator or originator of it. And it's kind of, you know, maybe it's like Terry Funk's talent for working in the ring. He's just got a talent for bullshitting as soon as the topic is raised. And he sounds so genuine and convinced that was true.
Wasn't there actually a story years ago that Terry Funk, they never got along, and again, he's the one who got Stallone, or hooked Stallone with the idea of Hulk Hogan. And Terry confronted him in Japan because Hogan did an interview with the Japanese press where he said meet Terry Funk somewhere.
Yeah, you're gonna kill him in Africa. And he wanted to finish it out. He told him in Africa.
I seem to remember something like that.
Yeah.
We got somebody out there chase down the details for us.
I just did.
That's right. Well, perhaps you are someone who likes the truth. Perhaps you don't know what to do about Hulk Hogan just making up these stories. Perhaps you're Simon Cowell, and you don't think it's fair that this guy's saying he's your best friend. You may want to sue. Slander.
That's what Simon Cowell would say. He's been slandered because he was not Hulk Hogan's lackey and errand boy here, that he's a successful man on his own, and if that's the case, then I suggest that he should call this man to get even in open court. And maybe if we can ever find that family from Wembley Stadium that left in intermission because their sick kid with body odor died in the middle of the show while Hogan was wrestling, they might want to sue as well for Hulk Hogan slandering and maligning the kid to say he's stoned.
I kept looking over. I thought they just went to the concession stand.
I see him coming back with some hot dogs. Well, whoever you want to sue, the man for you is Stephen P. New. And I'll tell you what, though, I've talked to Stephen P. New recently, and he has been so busy. He's suing the governor of the state of West Virginia for $300 million on behalf of the inmates of the state's penal institutions, prisons, and jails, which are woefully overcrowded and hopelessly in disrepair. He is still pressing the opioid litigation on behalf of the opioid-addicted babies that were born, and he's got all kinds of things going on all over the country, and as a result, he has actually had to defer and or turn down cases brought to him and or refer to other people, cases brought to him, but he's looking forward to bringing close to some of these things, moving on to some of the next chapters, and getting back to helping some of the Cult of Cornette listeners. But you too can get your name in the pot, and at the very least get some erstwhile advice, if not some referral and or some help, by calling Stephen P. New at newlawoffice.com, 888-692-8084. That's what you can do, Brian. That's what you can do.
I certainly can, and I certainly will, and we'll have an update on Cast Media and Colin Thompson and Live One and Podcast One and Rob Ellen on the next episode.
It's the actually really seriously best sale of the year for real customers. Look, we even put it on a hat. That's how real it is. Save up to $700 and get a $300 gift. The right mattress for
That's perfect.
Mattress Firm.
I don't see what the hell I was lying about.
You're the, watching a video from yesterday. Oh, okay, live.
Different videos though. I got some for that. I'll play after this.
You've heard me talk many times on this show about the many lies of Hulk Hogan. He's got a little trouble with the truth. I know some people want to attribute it to his age, he's getting older, maybe he forgets things, maybe. I forget things, and I'm not 70 years old like...
What's your home about that?
He is. I chalk things up to Hogan having a senior moment, except he's been doing this for years, long before he was a senior. So it's bullshit. Much like the things that come out of the man's mouth. As I've said before, if his lips are moving, he's lying. One of the tall tales that he has spun over the years was that he was wrestling at Wembley Stadium, which is a lie. He has never wrestled at Wembley Stadium. Wembley Arena, yes.
And is that Wembley?
In WCW, in front of about 2,000 people, which is a far cry from Wembley Stadium. And he is very clear whenever he tells this, even as recently as 2 months ago, he was on a podcast, that it was Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 people. But he claims a Make-A-Wish kid came to see him there. And the kid was in a bad way, and he was on a ventilator. The medics were with him. The kid's parents were marking out because they were Hulkamaniacs, because of course they were.
Of course they were.
But Hulk, see, he was more concerned about the kid, not the parents. He was freaking out because the kid was freaking out over meeting. So he left tickets for the family. He had a place reserved for them, section like roped off at the stadium for them. And he's claimed that he went out there that night and he wrestled in front of 80,000 people in the main event. And there's no kid. So after the match, he goes to the back and he asks what happened to the kid. And they tell him, well, the kid passed away. In the past, he's told it where he looked out into the crowd and he saw the kid wasn't there, and that's when he knew. He knew that something bad had happened. Of course, not only was Hogan not on the SummerSlam card in '92 at Wembley, which is the only other wrestling show ever to take place at Wembley Stadium in front of that many people. It's the only possible time his story could have been true. That SummerSlam was the first major pay-per-view without Hulk Hogan. He was gone at that time because they wanted the heat from the steroid scandal to die down. So he went away. Not only was he not on that show, he wasn't even in the UK at the time.
How'd he know?
Pain hits fast. So this relief then. Only topical rapid release gels have laser drilled holes. These release medicines.
You know, I play proof with Hogan being there.
And that led to him and Jimmy Hart, he's claimed, writing the song Hulkster in Heaven for his Hulk Rules album. He says it was about that young boy.
You are my friend.
Well, he's at it again. If you don't know, Hulk Hogan linked up with the same company as Ric Flair Drip. He's coming out with his own line of CBD products, and vapes, and cartridges, and shots, and all kinds of crap and good stuff. So he's been getting out there to promote it. He claims that he's given up alcohol. He stopped drinking months ago. The way he tells these stories, I'm not so sure about.
Yeah.
But he just gave an interview last week, and he started telling the story. This time, he was on a stretcher, and he immediately noticed his body odor. It was something that he had not smelled in a while. He said he had a special place for the kid inside the stadium, so he could watch his hero, the Hulkster, main event. He never says who he wrestled in this literally never before seen main event. In any of the moments of the story that he tells, he doesn't mention a name of who he was in the main event with. I wouldn't mind watching this match myself, but he never says who he wrestled at. A young John Cena, apparently. Nobody could see him. So he's in the ring, and he looks over.
Who's Randy?
He goes backstage after, and they tell him the kid passed away.
And this was man. I know the whole deal.
Apparently, to go back to the odor that he was mentioning, apparently he was referring to the stench of death on this kid. That's what he was alluding to. So he immediately got together.
Oh no, it was Yokozuna.
The mouth of the
because that's why he got the belt, because we're going on tour around UK and all that stuff, and when Hogan be champion and everything.
The problem is, he didn't know anybody in the UK who could help put these songs out, but Jimmy knew someone who put them in touch with someone that you may have heard of.
Yeah.
One Simon Cowell of American Idol fame, long before American Idol was a thing.
Yeah. That's how he got famous.
Did executive produce the WrestleMania album that WWE put out in 1993.
So I told you.
That had nothing to do with Hulk Hogan.
He also did more Ginger.
Featured on the album. What happened is Simon Cowell read about the numbers that SummerSlam did at Wembley in a newspaper article a few days after the show was over. This is according to his autobiography.
Whose autobiography?
He was blown away. And he figured, well, if they're selling that many tickets and that many videos each year, then they should do an album with the wrestlers, because people would buy the albums if they had their favorite wrestlers singing songs. So he reached out to Vince McMahon for producing an album, which led to the WrestleMania album, and that's how that whole thing came about. It did not do great here in the U.S., although it did crack the top 10 on the UK charts, which is, it's funny to me. Even when business is down, they always can rely on doing well over in the UK. It's amazing. It didn't matter how bad business might be here in this country. They could be doing 1,500 people at the live events. If they went on a European tour, they would always do well. Now, I'm sure a lot of that had to do with the fact that they were only going there once or twice a year. But they could always rely on the UK to do well. But as Hulk tells you, they got Simon Cowell involved with his album. And to my knowledge, Simon Cowell had anything to do with that album. But that didn't stop Hogan from claiming the album was #1 on the Billboard charts for 8 straight weeks.
Yep.
And that they donated all the money from the album to the kid's family.
I know about that one, brother.
In the past, though, Hogan has claimed that the Hulkster in Heaven song was inspired by a young boy he read about who was abducted and murdered by 2 10-year-olds in England back in '93. It was a boy by the name of James Bulger. It was a big story at the time. It's a heinous crime.
Never heard that one.
He's said that before, that the song was inspired by James Bulger and what happened to him. He changed the story to the version that he does when he wrote his book back in 2002. All of a sudden, the story changed. But if you listen to the lyrics of the song, the original version of the story makes more sense about it being about James Bulger. It starts with, I read it in the papers, I saw it on TV. I guess there'll be one empty seat when I wrestle at Wembley. I used to tear my shirt, but now you've torn my heart. I knew you were a Hulkamaniac right from the very start. I don't know how much of a Hulkamaniac the kid could have been. He was 2. I swear. This man's ego knows no bounds. Oh, and even better, by the way, about the Simon Cowell stuff. Let me mention this. The reason he told this story in the first place was to take credit for Simon Cowell coming to the U.S. and staying here and becoming a mainstream celebrity in the early 2000s. I guess were it not for Hulk Hogan, there would have been no Simon Cowell on American Idol. The album did so well, he said Cowell came over and produced the wrestling album. And then he produced the second wrestling album, Pile Driver, both of which were released in the 1980s, long before Simon Cowell produced his first wrestling album. But then he never left. He came here and he stayed. So we can thank the Hulkster for that, or blame him, depending on your view of Simon Cowell. So, to recap, Hulk Hogan met a sick Make-A-Wish kid, smelled the stench of death on him, left tickets for him and his family, worked the main event of a phantom show at Wembley Stadium, found out the kid died backstage, stayed up all night with Jimmy Hart writing a dozen songs in his honor, which topped the Billboard charts for 2 months, which led to Simon Cowell traveling back in time to create the first 2 wrestling albums. You know, normally when Grandpa starts telling these kinds of stories, the family moves him into Shady Pines to live out the rest of his days in his rocking chair. You know, it's a shame because Hogan did do a ton of Make-A-Wish stuff. There's no need for him to make up stories like this. And I'm sure there are times where he misremembers or he gets things confused. But the sheer volume of lies and bullshit that he has told, there is no way you can chalk it all up to a bad memory or the steroid shrinking his brain. He lies. He doesn't have to, but he does it anyway. He does it so effortlessly, pathologically. Hogan dropped by Joe Rogan's podcast this week also. 3 hours. I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I cannot get through the entire thing. I barely got 20 minutes into the interview that he did with Theo Von on YouTube a few weeks ago. So I didn't finish it, but there were at least 2 more whoppers in there that are worth mentioning. He claimed he was the first one to get Brock Lesnar when Brock came back from UFC, which is demonstrably false. He said he had his eye on Brock when Brock was in high school. There is absolutely no chance that is true. But when he came back from UFC, he said they being WWE, gave him to Hulk first. And he warned Brock in the ring to loosen up or else he would make him look really bad. Hulk Hogan did not scout Brock Lesnar in school, nor did he work with Brock Lesnar after he returned from UFC. He worked with him a full 10 years before that. But we shouldn't be surprised. This is from a man who claims he turned down an invitation to fight at the very first UFC show in 1993 because he thought it was too violent and barbaric.
No matter who you are, being yourself can be tough when you have severe asthma. Triggers can pop up out of nowhere, causing...
The other whopper was that he nearly got killed in Puerto Rico 4 months before Bruiser Brody was murdered. He said that he went down to Puerto Rico and he sold out the stadium. He and Macho Man, they go back to Savage's room and the room is trash. So he decides to go back to his room to check it out, and in his room he finds a wrestler in there. He did not want to name names because he claims this person is still active. And this person is sitting there with a gun and he says, if you ever come back here, I'm going to kill you. Was the guy just sitting in the dark waiting for Hogan to return? I don't know. He said he hauled ass to the airport to head home, and 4 months later, Bruiser Brody goes down there and has, in his words, a little argument. And the booker called him into the shower and cut his throat. Bruiser Brody did not get his throat cut. He was stabbed, but that does not mean that he got his throat cut. And the only record I could find of any show that Hogan would have worked in Puerto Rico during his time in WWE was in 1985. They did do a stadium show down there. That stadium fits almost 20,000 people. They didn't even draw 2,000 venue. So I guess it wasn't the sold-out show that he's referring to. But that was the night that he wrestled Big John Studd in the Heavens Open. This huge rainstorm. And they were sliding all over the mat. It's a miracle nobody broke a leg in there. I remember that because they included that match on Hulk's DVD many years ago. And I had never seen it before. But that was in 1985. 3 years before Brody was murdered. There was no record of Hogan working any shows in Puerto Rico in 1986, in 1987, or in 1988. I can only imagine the stories that he told Rogan the rest of that time. I just don't have the stomach for it. But that is the latest installment of Hulk Hogan's many lives. I'm sure we'll be adding more chapters to it in the future.
Alright, peace, y'all. Peace. So I want to do a shot of info here. Your boy LeBron James. Well, first and foremost, I want to tell you I apologize for not bringing content as of lately. I just haven't done some family. But yeah, I'm gonna get to it though. I'm gonna get to it. Talk about a few things here that I found very interesting about LeBron James, alright, and his upbringing. Okay, so if you watched LeBron James and his documentary, which I'm sure a few of you may know his upbringing, so I'm not gonna drag it.
Coming up next, it's a UFC Women's Bantamweight Division matchup.
Alright, so that's what I'm basically gonna do here, but I'm gonna try to get this out as quickly as possible for the people that are interested in these things here. Alright, so LeBron James was born December 30th, 1994.
Stat guys are ready to score takedowns if need be, but given this matchup on paper, we're expecting a really glorified kickboxing match here under mixed martial arts.
They can head to the popcorn booth right now. If you don't need them, this is going to be all striking. Leave that grapple button empty. Don't touch it. Cover it with a piece of tape if you don't need it. Striker versus striker. Both have the mentality that they just want to put damage on their opponent, and they don't want to do it on the mat.
So both girls landing right out of the chute. Mixes it up nicely in terms of staying heavy and also staying active.
Big shot, man.
Well, that left hand has been there for her tonight, not on that attempt.
Right? So by them giving him the coach.
Oh, she landed the jab there. Is her jab better than yours?
It's way better than mine. She's so fast and she throws it with ill intent.
Roman Catholic.
It's a beautiful fast quick jab. Just beat it.
Some of you may know who King James is. Some of you may not know who King James is. But King James is the author of King James. But I did find some other interesting things.
She misses with the left punch there.
With King James' story, not only was it that he was
big kick.
The same sex,
oh, you know about her kick. She's got him going tonight.
Also, King James also wrote the book of Illuminati. So
both fighters throwing heat now. Man, how good is her jab? And there it is again. So that jab has been in her opponent's face from the opening.
It is crazy to watch this, John. It's amazing for us to sit here and watch someone put an under. He has to go chase the finish. She's still standing.
Right, so a nice shot there defensively to raise the guard and prevent any damage.
Those hands never leave where they're supposed to be, and if you do that, most times you will block the shot.
Huge connection there.
Massive shot. How she gonna try to find the next shot that was right.
And she connects with a punch there, champion.
She's so accurate. She's so good at timing. All of her strikes.
All right, so another swing and a miss, and I'd imagine if your gas tank is this low. Connection fire there.
Lower the foot. Bring the cast off. Bring the cast. Take the ball. The fight's over.
The same symbol.
And just like that, the fight is over.
So, this is what I'm saying. A lot of times,
not sure she could have drawn it up much better. Just a beautiful strike to end the fight for her opponent. You candidly may not have even seen that flush shot coming. So this is exactly the way she drew it up.
WWE championships. These things are rigged, okay? People are already informed, okay, of who's going to win firsthand before the season even starts, okay? So, back to LeBron James here, okay, with him entering the Boulay before he gets drafted into the NBA, all right, I believe someone in a higher position than he was informed him, okay, about a lot of these practices that are done, okay, spiritually within the entertainment industry, okay. Now, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of what the Boulay is and how it plays a part in his career. Alright, so it says here, in 1904,
Coming up next in the UFC Women's Bantamweight Division matchup.
Dr. Henry Minton, the Boulay recruits the top blacks in American society into its ranks. The Boulay is the lowest ranking organization under the Freemasonic Order. Today, 5,000 plus hard.
All right, here we go with round one. Most people are not expectant of a wrestler's delight tonight. These women can strike, and that's the type of fight you expect.
A lot of times people believe when you put two strikers together, they end up wrestling. But these two women have told us, don't even think about calling any grappling. Tonight we're watching kickboxing match inside of the octagon, so be prepared.
I'm not sure her striking has ever looked better, DC. Finding the range with relative ease.
She's doing a great job of timing everything. She is seeing everything out there.
So, LeBron James,
well, she's been good tonight, but she missed without one.
So, bearing
big body.
Right hand is there for her. Well, the damage starting here. And just like that, the fight's over.
Which is used at the order from Virgin, so it has a spiritual significance. Spiritual significance behind it. I'm going to elaborate on that as well later on in the video. So at this very point here,